Hello, my name is Hemingway Jones and welcome. Today, I want to speak about my desk. I've had it for almost a year now, and I thought it would be fun to share just sort of how it's going, how I have it organized, how I thought I would use it, where it's exceeded my expectations, and where it's fallen behind. Just give you an idea in case you decide to take on one of these desks for yourself. One thing I would say, and this is important, so I'm going to put it up front, is if you do want a desk like this and you want to give it a try, I wouldn't buy it new. After I bought this, I found so many of these on Facebook Marketplace for like nothing, literally nothing. There are people here in Massachusetts that are giving them away, and you just need to pick them up. And I think I spent around $800 for this new, which is not ideal. And I certainly could have bought a vintage one too on Facebook Marketplace, but I do have a limitation. This is a very modest space. It's a very cozy, small library room, and I couldn't go 54 inches. We wouldn't be able to walk past it. So it is a smaller scale desk, and I did need that. But if you are looking for something like this for yourself, just keep that in mind. You can find them very affordably secondhand. The other thing is that this is fantastic. It is great having all of this organizational space, and I find myself sort of playing with it and switching things out and moving things around. And I'll give you a tour of what I have in each little cubby and each little nook, and I'll show you where they all are. But it does sort of play on your obsessiveness. If you're like me, where you wonder whether or not something's in the ideal spot where you can reach it, maybe I'll move it over here, no, tomorrow I'm gonna move it over there. So there's a lot of that obsession going on, and it sort of feeds into that. And then another big mistake that I make, though this might not apply to you, is when I record, like on my live show, I always put a box here that I sit my laptop on, and inevitably, something I need for the show is here behind the box and the camera, and I forget. So you just want to sort of consider your organization before you start. Okay, so that's kind of it geographically. I mean, we can obviously see you have this shelf, which I thought would be good for my big work monitor, but not so much, because it ends up sort of being here and you're very rigid in your posture and looking up at it. And then the keyboard's sort of down here, and it's not perfect. If I could somehow put the screen here, it might work. I end up just using my laptop here quite a bit. So I'll show you how I do that. I have this wonderful piece of cloth with Hieronymus Bosch, one of my favorite painters, my wife bought for me. Thanks, honey. And this is for casting tarot cards on, but it's brilliant for all sorts of things. I use it for backgrounds for my videos all the time. And I simply fold it here and I place my laptop on there so that the desk area doesn't get too scratched. I say too scratched because it's pretty scratched, and I don't know how it even happened, but it's definitely scratched. If you come in a little close, you can see there's a good nick here, there's one here, there's a bunch of them over here, and I don't even know how I did it. Maybe by, good scratches over there, maybe by moving my recording equipment around, that would make sense. My different things I use for the channel, but I'm very sensitive to putting laptops over here. So when I do, I put this down. Okay, so let's get toward the tour just so it's a little bit more fun. I don't want to kind of hit you with all the negatives, but I just want you to be aware of this stuff. And maybe one more thing in a very general sense. You're going to see dust. You're going to see a lot of dust. I try to keep up on it, but even now I'm seeing that there's something I missed when I dusted this, I think 2 days ago. And certainly around all the little edges, it loves to be an anchor for dust. So yeah, if you're hyper clean, which I'm not hyper clean, then you might want to consider that too. Okay, let's have a little fun and do a little tour. So this is one of the main drawers. There's two of them. This one has very important things in it. It has that cloth that I use to cushion my laptop. I have another one, which is William Morris. You've probably seen this in some of my videos too. Very handy. I use this for all sorts of things. I have a bunch of letters that I need to read and write back. It's very important. I have this fantastic vintage inkwell. I love this one. I always forget how it opens. Is it like this? Yeah, there it is. Little glass bottle in there. I've never filled it. I'd really like to. Ink, in case you forget what it is. So that's pretty great. This is very important. This is working hands, and it's lotion for my hands. I do try to keep my hands looking nice for the camera, because especially when I focus in on a pen, you don't want to see like a big dried out ugly man thumb. So I'm very conscious. At least I make an effort, and this is always there. What's nice about this stuff, it's very affordable. It doesn't smell in really any way, and it works brilliantly. I think it was designed for farmers, people doing really heavy work, so it's really good. There's already some random bric-a-brac in here, like this from Atlas Station or Sidewalk Sale. I still have some stickers left. And my Inkii cannoli, which I haven't actually used yet for wiping nibs. I'll tell you why in a minute. But I also have the one for my glasses handy. This is around me all the time. I use this one quite a bit. I have a couple of knives, as one does. This is one of my oldest possessions, by the way. I've had this since I was around 12 or 14 or something, a really long time. And I use it for opening envelopes. It looks scary, it's not. I also use it for cutting washi tape. That's the function it has these days. When I was a kid, I used to throw it into trees and into the dirt, you know. And then I have my hele, which I use for the same two reasons. I used to open boxes with this, but it sort of broke my heart having all the tape stuck to it. So I keep those in here. And I have the wider washi tapes are in here. I use this one quite a bit on my letters when I want to be sure that a letter is not going to open in transit. And this one is so great because it's anatomical. I really love this one. It's so fun. Okay, as you would expect, there's also some pens in here. I mean, pens are literally everywhere with me. The Waterman 5 with the flex nib. This is amazing. This is a great pen you can still find for around $200 US. Try not to spend too much more than that. Has that ideal flex nib. It is so great. Highly recommend this. It's also a great sort of bargain item for the value you get. It's perfect. And my pencil case, which has a lot of really important things in it. Not the least of which is paste. I use this for envelopes. I don't like to lick envelopes, so this is so important. I have another one somewhere too, I'm not sure where. Oh yes, and of course, a Platinum Preppy. Everyone needs one of these handies. And we don't want it to be lonely, so it keeps company with a kakuno. They live in here. And then these brilliant scissors. I love these scissors because it looks like a pen, but it's actually a scissor. These are brilliant. I got this from Jet Pens. I highly recommend it. Look at, see how nice that is? And here's another thing I bought from Jet Pens I highly recommend. It's a highlighter pencil, so it doesn't get all wet and gross. You have a lot of control and you can shade and sharpen. It's brilliant. I love this thing. And there's a little notepad in here too. Always good to have handy. So Very handy little package. Whiteout, important. And some other fun stuff. My Jayarbon glass dip pen in here. I use this for inks. Some more dip pens. This one is super pretty. And this is fun. It's a pen holder from Copperus Woo. I love this. The only thing is, it's metal and it's grainy, so it can scratch. Okay, let's get into some fun little drawers. This one is very important. So this has my sealing wax, and it's all Jayarbon. And the one thing about this sealing wax and sealing wax in general, I only use Jayarbon. If you use this, you'll never want to use any of the sort of cheaper ones that are out there. This melts perfectly. It smells kind of spicy. It's flexible. It's beautiful. It's easy to work with. It is just a vastly superior product, in my humble opinion. I love this stuff, so it's really the only sealing wax I use. All right. This whole drawer for another item that I've had a very, very long time. I also bought this when I was probably around 10, 11, 12. I don't even remember, but it's an old-fashioned magnifying glass. And now that I'm 58, I actually use it quite a bit for what it's meant for. And then up here, I have some pen cases. These are handy because I'm often taking one pen with me and I need a quick case. This one is Rickshaw, and it's from the Empire State Fountain Pen Show. This is the Lockbee, which is really great too. Two great cases. Handy. I believe this is an M2, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, I have trouble opening these. There we are. I am really looking forward to diving into this one, but I have yet to do it. This is me in my life. A lot of pens, they just sit for a while until inspiration strikes. Now this is super fun. I use this in my journals quite a bit, and they're italic stamps of every letter, all capitalized, but I use them for titles and things. They always look a little messy, but that's sort of part of the fun. And I got this from Journal Say. So I've been having a lot of fun with it. It's getting very inky all over, but that's good. You know, I use it. Haven't used this pad yet though. Okay, so I have a bunch of pens here, as you would expect. The Himalaya from Fountain Pen Revolution. Oh, so good. Another great flex pen. Have a lot of those handy. This is another beautiful pen. Oh, I love this one so much. This is the Sailor 1911L, probably the perfect business pen. Has sort of Montblanc 146 dimensions. Love it. Still can't put down the Moleskine Kaweco collaboration. Such a fun pen. The Right Tech Click Tech. It's still handy. It's still wacky. And I'm so back and forth on this pen. Another Kakuno, because you can never have enough. And the Pilot Varsity. I'm going to record with this, but once again, haven't got around to it. So while I'm dragging out these items from these little pigeonholes, they're decent size for putting things in. They fit pens, which is perfect. So things you want handy, you want to just draw, they're perfect for that. And for little boxy items, what they don't fit and what I thought they would fit are envelopes. I thought I would get my correspondence and sort of make it a in and out kind of a box, but they're way too small for that. And while I'm on size, these drawers are incredibly shallow. They have their uses, but anything higher than, I'm looking at this, I'm thinking an inch, maybe an inch and a quarter. It's just going to stick up. You're not going to be able to shut it. So shallow things, perfect. Here's an ink syringe. Very, very important. tons of cartridges, Short International. These wacky stickers for journals that I couldn't figure out what they were in my journal save video. Perfect for that. Lots of ink. Not quite as deep as I had hoped. Similarly, this is I'm not sure. I think this is for a Kaweco. It's one of those little kind of syringe converters. I should put that in a pan. Okay, now there's a secret compartment. This comes out to that. I thought maybe I could put a letter in here. This is, for the most part, utterly useless. I can't think of a single thing I can put in here. I could dump it if I put it in. If you put a pen in there, it would rattle around. You have to dump it out. If you can think of something I could put in here, let me know in the comments. I like that it exists, but it's kind of useless so far. And if it's not useless enough, there's two of them. So this is an interesting drawer. Come closer. Has a little embellishment on it. You open it up, and this has a lot, most if not all of my wax sealing accoutrements. A little freebase spoon, my S for my last name. Love this guy. Another S. Lots of S's. Venice. Can you see that okay? It's not as pretty when this comes out though. You really got to get it just right. This one's brilliant. It's a mermaid in an Art Nouveau background. And then this is a Icelandic compass and then a sword. So a pretty nice collection. So I almost forgot this bit. These slide out so shallow. You could put maybe 2 envelopes above each other. I have some of my stickers from Atlas, and I have my, what are these called? Coasters. I have my coasters for coffee and for juice in the morning, including this one. I'm not sure what kind of creature that is, but I love it. Do you know what that is? A red squirrel?
It's like a field mouse.
It's a field mouse. Do field mouse climb trees? This one does. Okay.
Could be that mouse.
Could be. So that goes here. And then, of course, there's another one here. Now, this one I did find a pretty practical use for. Mostly empty postage, but there's postage here and bookmarks. So, can never get enough postage. Let's take a moment and talk about some of what's up here. This is a very old piece of porcelain, nicely articulated. It's not always here, but it's here often. Sometimes I move things back and forth to the shelves. This is a Wedgwood. I love Wedgwood, but I love it in use differently than what it was meant. I don't like it as stodgy Wedgwood, sort of on our grandparents' shelves. I like it with an air plant in it or lined with felt, used as a pen holder. I like it used. Of course, a candle, my Inkii. And my prized possession, I know I've talked about this all the time, but it's brilliant. It's an Egyptomania inkwell, over 100 years old, that I bought from a little antiques dealer in Scotland. Brilliant, love it. Another candle that smells like library, but how would we know? We're in a library. It's nice though. And this is Yorick, and this is Yorick 1. Because Yorick was replaced. But the way I know it is because I glued his jaw on. So Yorick 1 is not articulated, but Yorick 2 is. Yorick 2 is up on the shelf. And then this came from Venice. I ordered these through Etsy. They came with 2. And this is all hand blown. And then they make this really nice base for it. This is perfect. It shines a very nice, pleasant light down. And it's a little dusty. But that's okay. We're okay with dust. Okay, some more cubby holes. Shop towel, good for padding your nibs. I have something else too, I'll show you. for nibs. This is a vintage Stilo. It's what Winston Churchill used for fine lines, and it's lever fill. It's from the 30s. Really beautiful, writes very fine. These are prized possessions here. They're 2 glass nibbed pens. Beautiful. This was a recent gift. Thank you very much. The alchemy of these is that it's very difficult to find one that isn't chipped. I feel so fortunate to have 2 that aren't chipped. This one and this one that I had made a video about. Beautiful. This one has more of a green nib. The other one's a little more, I don't know, gold, orange. So, very exciting. Then a couple other things. This is a brand new loop. I don't use it because I have other loops that I use, but it's here for when the other one dies. I have a mini loop that was a gift from Ben Walsh at Gravitas, which I really appreciate because anytime I go to a show or something, I take this one with me. So perfect, thank you, Ben. Another wax seal with a fountain pen nib, which is very apropos, and a globe on the back. Now this is the loop that I use all the time because it was my wife Helen's, and she got a new one and I got her old one. And this is the little cardboard separator for a Lamy Safari, which I use for filming when I have to show how that works. This is one of my prized possessions too. It's from one of my favorite movies and then the TV show, Highlander. It has MacLeod's sword and then the katana as well. It's pretty awesome. I got this when I bought the VHS tapes. So that gives you an idea of how old it is. It's over 30 years. And was in a package for most of it, but now it's out. This is something I think everyone should have, a Victorinox nail clipper. I'm obsessive about my nails. I have one of these in my bag, one in the living room, one here, and one in my car. So they're around, I don't know, $12, $15, but I have them everywhere. And then my scissors from Journal say they're very sharp, very precise, and very aesthetic. They're like a little butterfly, bit Art Nouveau. So this is why I haven't used the Inkii one yet. I've been using this one that came from Pen Chalet, and I still have some real estate in here to use. This one is fun too. It's a nice little portfolio, and it's also refillable. And then I have the more narrow washi tape with different writing on it. It's kind of important. Very shallow. You can see it's like 2 washi tapes. Actually, I think it's about 10 millimeters deep because I think these are 4 millimeters. So that gives you an idea. This is fun. A Kaweco clip, very important. Lots of nib units and probably more ink that should be over there. This is a Hemingway Jones envelope and paper folder, so you can sort of flatten it down, made out of really hard material. I think it's ceramic. Very nice. It was a gift from a lovely viewer. Stapler and more washi tape. Very important. Okay, I have one more drawer to talk about, but I want to mention a bit about using this. And one of the things that I don't like about this is that I don't feel like there's quite enough real estate to write. It's okay. I can write, you know, like this, if you will. So, you know, that's okay. I wish my whole arm were on there. I can certainly do this and write. It's okay. But I would like more real estate. One of the things I could do, and I haven't done, I could take all of this out and sit it up there, but then it would block my view of the garden in the backyard. But I could, and that would give me more real estate. But what I often do is I drag another little table over here and I write on there while I have my laptop on here and some of my other books on there. So it's not ideal. I just wish I had maybe 3 more inches. I do sometimes think about adding another desk here or back here. Maybe that's the future. Maybe one day I move this to another part of the house and I get a different desk. So we'll see. Okay. This is the fun drawer. I think this is a lot of fun for me. So in here, I have all my rubber stamps. I am such an aficionado of rubber stamps now. I am so messy with this. Paper towel handy. You can see like there's blue, there's red. Sometimes I mix them and they look so good. It gives them a bit of depth if it's blue and red. This, of course, is Durer's Rhinoceros, which I really love. This too, this has fewer applications just because it's so large, but it's a beautiful stamp. If I get it right, and you know with rubber stamps, you have to have a hard surface, has to be all flat, but if you get it right, it is impressive. It looks like a bookend or something. And then this sort of Venetian kind of sensual figure with some Italian writing and a palazzo. I like this too. Sometimes I use half of it. It's another one you have to be careful. Very impressive when it works. And these journals say ink pads have been great. I was a little incredulous when I first got them, but they've proven themselves to be great. This is the Rose Dust. I use this quite a bit. They shut really nicely so they don't dry out. The Colors of Morris is so saturated. It's so beautiful. I love this one. I use it all the time. And you can hear how nicely that one shuts. And then this was that Ancient Mud, which my wife and I had a bit of fun with when we were filming. It's a very nice sort of brownish red. And it shuts really well, doesn't dry out. And then a very good black, also quite nice. And then for the larger stamps, I need big pads. And these are that. Very large red. You can see I'm quite messy with it. I've always been a little irresponsible with ink. It's just who I am. Sometimes I have to move them all around, make sure it's all covered. And then I have all the acrylic ones. These are really nice because you can line things up and get them straight. I rarely do. I rarely get them straight, even with these, but you probably have better luck than I. And then I have all these silicone stamps, and you can see I've used them quite a bit. These are sort of churches and buildings from all over Europe. This is Rome. I'm pretty sure that's Rome. Some of these I don't know where they are. And I never stopped to read this, but it's writing. It looks pretty neat. Oddly enough, I've never used the ones that pertain to fountain pens. Ink bottles, nibs. It looks super fun. I need to bust this one out. So this is Notre Dame, which is super fun to use. I use it all the time. Even says Notre Dame. I could put that above with a stamp. I've used this one. I haven't used these, but really beautiful. I sometimes have to use 2 acrylic pressers, stamps, bases, if you will, for those. And you can see all the different ink. You can see I use black and brown. I don't mind. Houses of Parliament, just pretty amazing, and similar stamps and things. So these are super fun, and I use these all the time. I have one other little treasure in here, and that's my vintage dip pen, which I've cleaned. I've taken all the oil from my hands off of it so that I can use it. But there it is. It's gold nib, very flexible, very beautiful dip pen. I've written a few letters for the pen pal group with this, which is really fun. Oh, I do see one more thing. This is my date stamp, which I haven't used that much. I've noticed that it's set up for the European style of dates, which is okay, but a bit different if you're not used to it. So that's essentially the desk and how I use it. I also have moved my journals up recently when I reorganized the library, and more journals and notebooks so that I can access them a bit easier while I'm working, and some of the other books that I'm always referencing. I do find that the thing I set out to do, I did largely accomplish, and that is to create this really cozy, academic themed working space that would just focus me when I'm working, either professionally or something for myself, in that sort of really nurturing atmosphere where I feel really inspired. I can look out back, get a little sense of what my desk was like back at university. So it's very nice for that. I find the biggest challenge is using it. I just wish I had time. I wish there was more time to luxuriate in thought and creation and inspiration, but we're all so busy and all working in our lives and trying to accomplish all the things and doing all the things that we need to do. But when you do get that time, you can luxuriate in those instants of eternity and just live in the moment. So, what do you think of the desk setup? What do you think of all my kind of treasures and little secrets in there? Did you find it interesting? I hope you did. Let me know in the comments. And if you've reached this point in the video, please subscribe. I'd love to have you on this journey with me. I go to a lot of different places. If you'd like to support the channel even more, consider becoming a member. For Illuminati and Cognoscenti members, we have a pen pal group. Now I write letters right from this desk, so I'd love to see you there. So I make new videos all the time, and I have a live show as well. So I can promise you, we'll see each other again very, very soon, further up the road. So take care.